Hey folks, so here I am wandering through an industrial area somewhere in Osaka, and yeah, I was just watching this morning. I had some free time between classes, and I was watching some of Softy Papa, Kurt Bell's videos, and he's on a countdown now. I watched his day 8, day 7 video. He's on a countdown where he's going to the States on the 23rd of December and he's got a job interview on the 24th. And he's really hoping, he's been working hard to get this job and make a big life change and move back to America with his family and start life again in America. He really wants to go back to America. He really, for a lot of reasons, and he's talked about how he feels really he can't, reach his full potential here in Japan. And there's laundry hanging out there. So he can't reach his full potential in Japan. Often people who do come to Japan who are native English speakers end up working as teachers. And that's not always for all of us. Not everyone wanted to be a teacher. There's people who do it kind of as a means to an end, or just as a means, period, But that's not what they like. That's not where their passion lies. Now, I've met people who've moved out of teaching and have done some interesting things. I've met people who've kind of moved up the ranks and become university instructors, and as university instructors they have quite comfortable lives. So I've met a lot of people who've come here with, say, a bachelor's degree and worked as English teachers. Eventually, while they were here, got a master's or a PhD and moved up into the world of professorship. That's a goal, I think. That's something I'm thinking of doing. I've met people who've gone into business for themselves. They've opened up restaurants and bars and schools and tech companies. There are ways you can diversify, but it is definitely more challenging, of course, if you are not a native, if you don't have the language ability, like me. And Kurt will say the same. But it's interesting. I've met, of course, other foreigners who have been here for a long time, 20 plus years, and they love it. And they're so content and they're so happy to live the rest of their days here. So you meet all kinds. But one thing that I was thinking while I was watching Kurt's videos today, it made me a bit sad. Like, I'm happy for him. I really hope that things work out for him and he gets this job that he really wants and put himself in a better position to support his family. But at the same time, I'm sad because Kurt was one of the original J-vloggers that I watched. He was one of the original ones that the first ones I started watching back in 2005, 2006, early 2006. I got into not J-vlogging, I was in Korea, K-blogging maybe. As far as I know, I was one of the first ones there, kind of a pioneer. I posted my first video in October 2006 from Korea. But I was, my current wife, she was my girlfriend at the time, the only wife I've ever had. And she was my girlfriend, and we were pretty serious. So I was considering moving to Japan at some point. So YouTube was pretty new, and there were people doing this interesting thing called video blogs. So I started watching some about Japan, and the first three I watched were Tokyo Kuni, Kevin Kuni, who's no longer, he doesn't do anything with YouTube anymore. So I have no idea what's going on with him. I assume he's still in Tokyo, but his YouTube days are behind him. Sorry, there was another Kansai PJ, who is actually a good friend of mine, and his YouTube days are behind him as well. But we still keep in regular contact. He's in Osaka, doing very well. Who else? KKA Japan, Christine, and she was great. She was a great J-vlogger, and she lives in America now. She had moved back after many years in Japan. Who else? I'd watched a little bit of Victor, Give Me a Break Man, but to be honest, at that point, he didn't blog about Japan. He blogged about other things. He was always like blogging about YouTube drama, mostly YouTube drama videos, stuff that's going on in YouTube. But he didn't blog about Japan really at that time. And then I went to Canada for some time, came to Japan, and when I first came to Japan, kind of Victor will call it like the second generation of vloggers were active. There was me, 11 Colors, James, who's still in Tokyo, and he does videos. His videos pop up from time to time, but not consistently. There was a fat blue man in Nagoya who's gone. He has since moved back to Canada with his family. Runny 999 was a good friend of mine, but he's become really big, and we've lost contact. I've reached out to him a few times, but you know, who knows how busy he is. Yeah, hold on a second. I got a student walking by. Hello. Hi. I don't want my junior high students to see me talking to a camera thinking I'm a crazy person, which I am, but I don't want them to know that. So yeah, what was I going to say? I guess I'm going to see a lot more students walking by in a few minutes. They got off school early today, I think. Hello. Hello. Are you finished school? Ah, lucky. Yeah. Where can I go? My students are everywhere in this neighborhood. So yeah, so basically a lot of the people, basically what I'm trying to get around to saying is that a lot of the people that I followed originally and were big fans of on YouTube, they're gone now. Their YouTube days are done. They've either left Japan, they've stopped video blogging, they've gotten really big. You know, Eric6 is still around and he's hugely successful on YouTube, and I'm very happy about that, and we keep in regular contact, which is great. But yeah, so for the most part, though, so long story short, what I'm saying is that you know, if Kurt leaving Japan kind of makes me a bit sad, because he's kind of like, he's one of the original ones I watched. I started watching his videos when I was living in Korea, and what I loved about his videos, it was like Tokyo Kuni showed all the coolness of what it's like to live in the big city of Tokyo. And then Kurt was like the complete opposite. He'd be roaming through the countryside and the hills and the mountains and forests of Shizuoka-ken and showing you wild goats and abandoned tea farms. And both were just amazing, a great juxtaposition, really fascinating in their own ways. So again, best of luck to Kurt. I hope he's successful in getting this job he's hoping to attain, but I will be sad. I think most of his fans will feel the same way. Alright guys, take care. Kevin in Japan. I will see you soon.